Hi everyone, glad you enjoyed the video on my that I did the other day on putting. I'm going to give you a similar one now on chipping, where hopefully this will give you a good couple of 2 or 3 key points that you're going to work on while at home during lockdown. So chipping, I think it's important to note it's good to have a method, a sort of a standard bog size method you use, and then you can branch off. You're not going to be able to use one method for every single situation. You're going to have lie changes, you're going to, where the ball's maybe going to be more buried on more of a bare lie. There's so many different things, you know, there's going to be times where you need to use more speed, more leverage. But this technique today, it's a fairly standard technique. I'm going to give you some information. So think of it off a fairly good lie. You're not going to need much leverage, you're not going to have to throw the ball massively in the air. These are the things, obviously when you need to do different things, that you're going to have to use different techniques. So first of all, when I'm chipping, there's 2 or 3 things, as I said, that I like to kind of do when I'm chipping. First one being, I like to raise the handle up slightly when I'm in setup. So that's going to take the heel of the club slightly off the ground. When you take the heel of the club up this way and you engage just more of the toe, or of this part of the sole, this is a wider part of the sole, as you can see, than this part. What that's going to do is it's going to allow you, that wider sole, to engage with the ground a lot more, encourage more of a shallower strike, and not create so much of a dig. When we're chipping, we certainly don't want to get the leading edge in. We don't want to get any sort of stick when we're playing it this way, and get that kind of duffing action where you see loads of people across your golf clubs forever doing. So first of all, as I said, we're going to get that heel off the floor and the toe more engaged with the ground. So to do that, just imagine, going to almost feel the wrist goes more in this direction. Hands are going to be more up. So it's going to look something like this. This is going to feel a little bit, almost going to feel a little bit more tense. The key thing is not to feel really rigid when you do it. It will feel more tense, but I still want you to feel fairly relaxed in the arms as you do it, and the grip pressure needs to be nice and light. Second thing I want you to do is always try and imagine when you're chipping, when you've got in that setup position, to feel the club head is staying outside of your hands, both back and through. So if I made some short swings here, you'll be able to see that as I make that backswing, that club head, and a good drill for you when you're doing this is just to have it in the belly button, just imagining it's just staying outside of my hands all the time. A lot of people you'll see will drag in too much, or they'll start to move it away and lose connection in this regard. So that's key for that little bit of an area. Third thing, and you'll have heard this loads, people say, oh, you lifted your head. Now this is one of my pet hates in a lot of pros, if you ask them, where people talk about keeping your head down. That is one of the biggest myths in golf that you can ever possibly hear. Because how many people have you seen chip like this? Where the head stays down, the body stops, and the arms just take over. The key thing to remember is do not keep your head down. And as you're swinging through, almost when the club would, you know, when, I'm not going to get over technical, but as the club's almost at last parallel, you would start to see your left shoulder, left hip, everything start to lengthen out. So as you can see, as I'm turning through, my head's turning as I collect the golf ball, and my upper back is extending in this direction. That's going to be key to stop you going, flashing the hands over, or doing anything like that, because that's going to help you as well keep the body and the arms matched as you go through. That's going to be really important. And a nice little feeling for that is if you take an alignment stick or an old shaft, connect it with the golf club in this direction, just allow it to rest on the left hip, just make some swings, and as you turn, just try and feel that part of the stick doesn't connect with my body. If I was to keep my head down and stop, that would just almost stab me in the side. That's going to be a nice little drill moving forward. Reference some little drills you can do at home. I've got a couple of things set up here. You can obviously do some simple shots where you chip it into a bucket, which is the black bucket at the end here. Or I've actually got set up almost like a coconut shy. You can have like your biggest item on the left, smallest on the right. I actually saw this from a lady doing it at Close House online the other day. And I thought that's kind of a nice idea because it's giving you the sense of direction and it's giving you the sense of how hard you need to hit it, which is key obviously in chipping. So you could have a bit of fun against, if you live with someone who plays golf, you could say 10 points for the one on the right, 5, 2 and 1 or anything. And you can aim at any one of these in particular and see if you can knock it over. Also, you've got your bucket down there, like I said, that you can also just chip balls into. So if I was to get into that setup routine, you can raise the handle up as we talked about. I'm always going to feel like most of my weight is in my left leg when I play this shot. That's going to be key for your angle of attack. And also you're going to use your left knee as your pivot point. Ball's going to be fairly in the middle of the stance. And then we're going to go through and try and do those other bits that we talked about in the video. So if I was to just play one here, get that handle raised up, a little bit of a lean forward, keep that club outside of the hands and turn through. I actually got it a little bit stabby, didn't quite get the best strike and I missed the bottle that I was aiming for. But it gives me feedback, on the strike, gives me feedback on whether I've flighted it in the right way. Like I say, this is not a shot that's going massively in the air because we would then have to change our swing technique. We would have to alter a few things. Last little drill you can always do as well is lay some clubs down, almost in a ladder formation, and just chip the balls one after the other. And you could have this ladder with about 7, 8 clubs and just chip the ball different increments with the same club or different clubs into the different sections here. Gives you, again, a good idea of how hard to hit the ball. All you're doing in chipping, as we say, is just trying to land it in a certain spot and then let it release out to the hole. So it gives you a great idea as well. Reference that. Hope this video makes sense and you enjoy it. Next one coming will be on pitching, and hopefully you'll enjoy that one as well. Thank you.